Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ha, Rocha, Chodash, Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Double honors to my elder, Aharawan Ban Yasharala of the Lions Den Camp, here in Jacksonville, Florida. Shalom to the sincere Akim, presenting truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. I'm Nakar Harab Ban Yasharala, coming out of the Lions Den Camp of Yasharala, located here in Jacksonville, Florida. And now today I'll be coming out with a lesson, and it's on this article, but the title of this lesson is "The Devil Oppresses Everybody." And that's what this article is pretty much about: oppression, and how this devil does pretty much wicked things, unfair, grievous. But let's continue. It says dozens dead after violence erupt over government plans to eliminate fuel subsidies. Army takes to the street. Now this is an article that I seen. It says a day ago, but I literally seen this article maybe about 5-6 hours ago. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. And I don't know if I should play. I could play that video or not. It might knock off the screen recording, but I'm gonna try it just to see. Okay, I guess they were shooting missiles, but man, okay, whatever. But it says at least 22 people have died amid violent protests in Angola as against a fuel hike as unrest continues to spread across the oil-rich nation. And it says here, it's gonna say here, but the unrest broke out because of the rising prices or getting rid of the subsidies. But let's continue. It says unrest broke out in the African country on Monday after the minibus taxi associations launched a 3-day strike against a government move to increase the price of diesel by 1/3 in an effort to curb costly subsidies and shore up public finances, Reuters reported. It says looting and vandalism clashes Salakia between protesters and authorities began in the capital of Luanda before spreading to at least 6 other provinces. It says government officials met on Wednesday to get an update on the death toll and police response. In addition to the 22 deaths, the office president, Joao Lourenco, said there were 197 people injured and more than 1,200 arrests. 66 shops and 25 vehicles were vandalized, and some supermarkets and warehouses looted, a presidential statement said. It says the army was deployed to restore order as the riots triggered a climate of widespread insecurity, the statement says. And of course, this is nothing but uproars of the people. And the Lord said that this will happen in Matthew chapter 24. Also, in the Apocrypha, uproars of the people. And in Esdras, we was going to see these things happening in the earth. And this is what was prophesied to happen, and we are seeing these things right now. Let's continue. It says, since 2023, Angola has been removing fuel subsidies, a policy encouraged by the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. And you know the IMF has been jacking over everybody on the earth, because we know who runs that and the proprietors of that whole thing of the IMF, you know. So basically, Edom, it is what it is causing problems. This is grievousness. I'm gonna grab, this is then I'm gonna finish. This is Psalms chapter 10, verse 2. It says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor, Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. So the wicked in his pride does persecute the poor. That's talking about our people, the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the Israelites, but also these other nations and these or these should I say these other nations or poorer other nations. This devil is always persecuting the poor. He's always coming against them. When it says, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined, meaning everything that this devil has put forth and think he's going to put forth in the earth, it is going to come back on him. Jumping down to verse 5. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of thy sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. So these devils, their ways are always grievous. That's why people are over there in Angola right now protesting because of a hike in diesel prices. And then they're taking away the subsidies and all that stuff like that. That's causing the uproar. That's why people was uproar, because it's taken from the people. And guess what it says? It says the IMF. And we know what the IMF all about. But that is grievousness. That's what this devil is causing over there in Africa. Grievousness. His ways are always grievous. But the Lord's judgments are far above out of this devil's sight. But this devil stays puffing at his enemies. He stays jumping, flinching at his enemies like, like ain't nothing finna happen. That's why they did this. They thought they were just going to be over there in Angola and just be cool about it. No, them people got things they trying to do. And this devil is literally oppressing everybody on the earth. The IMF, that's some Edomite sugar honey iced tea. It is what it is. The whole whatever, if you want to say Amalek, whatever, they still part of Edom. I don't give a flying flip phone if Esau don't want to hear this. And you want to censor and trigger her to bump that. This the truth of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Nobody got time for that. This devil don't want to hear the truth. This devil don't like his own reflection. But want to do wickedness in the earth. And not be told about it. That don't how the Lord operate. So this devil's ways are always grievous. And this devil is always puffing at his enemies, thinking or saying that there ain't nobody going to do nothing. I'm going to do this and you ain't going to do nothing. Let's continue. It says, since 2023, Angola has been removing fuel subsidies, a policy encouraged by the IMF. A price hike that year also triggered deadly protests. So again, another price hike triggered deadly protests yet again. His ways are always grievous. This devil is always persecuting the poor. This was a short article. It wasn't that long, but let's continue. It says subsidies amount as too much as 4% gross domestic product. Subsidies amounted to as much as 4% of gross domestic product last year, according to the finance minister. So again, it's done went up a couple of times already. Let's see. Yeah, okay, that was it on that. But as you can see, it's just causing uproars of the people, but this is all prophecy as well. We were told of these things by Yahushua. These things were spoken of by the Heavenly Father. Yahushua got it from Yahweh the Father. And then he gave it to us so that we can speak about it. These are the signs of the times that we're living in. The Lord said these things would happen. Let's continue. Let's go to Psalms chapter 20, my last point. Salakia. Wasn't Job. It wasn't Psalms. It was Job chapter 5. And I'm going to just read a few. No. Job chapter 20. Salakia again. It was Job chapter 20. Boom. Job chapter 20. I wrote Psalms for some reason, but Job chapter 20. Let's start at my point. Job chapter 20, verse 15. It says, he has swallowed down riches and he shall vomit them up again. Yahweh shall cast them out of his belly. So this devil has swallowed down riches. And how does this devil swallow down riches? By setting up pseudo leadership and payment systems and all that other stuff in these other countries. And then he bleeds these countries dry through price hikes and various whatever that he puts in play. And that's how he swallows down the riches. And also by murdering and just straight up taking by violence and by force. So this devil has swallowed down riches. But the Lord is going to make this devil vomit them up again. Meaning he's going to have to give all of that back, because this devil did not earn not a damn dime they got. They took it. They stole it. They lied. They manipulated to get it. The Lord is going to cast him out of his belly. Meaning the Lord is going to take away everything that this devil is taking, because it was never ever his to begin with. Job 9:24, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and grab it real quick. This is Job chapter 9 verse 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So this earth is, again, it's been given into the hands of the wicked. And who are the wicked? The tabernacles of Edom. They don't want to be called that, but who gives a flying flip phone? That's who they are. And the Lord got a judgment coming to them, and they know it. That's why Esau don't want to be Edom. But Esau is Edom, if you read Genesis. Thus saith Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. What? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and this devil has covered the faces of the judges. Who are the judges? Who are the true leaders of the world? Jake. Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. He covered the face of the judges, covered them up. Took our images down and put his images up. Took our images down and put up false, fake images from his wicked, twisted, sinful imagination. And it says, if Esau ain't Edom, or ain't the wicked, then where and who is he? Where is he? That's the question. But guess what? We know this devil by his works. You know a tree by its fruits. Roughly paraphrasing, a good tree can't bring forth wicked fruit or bad fruit, and a wicked tree or a bad tree can't bring forth good fruit. Though this devil will tell you that he brings forth good fruit, but all his fruit is wicked. All of it, every last bit of it. Even when he do good, he ain't do it because if he wanted to, the Lord made him do it. But nonetheless, this devil oppresses everybody. Let's go back. Let's jump down to verse 19. It says, because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away in the house which he builded not. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. So this devil has oppressed and hath forsaken the poor. This devil don't care that he's harming the poor. He does not care. As a matter of fact, they take away from the poor to get the rich richer, rather than the rich coming up with ideas to make themselves richer. They take away from the poor. The poor already doesn't have. They take away from the poor by price hikes and whatever other things that they're doing, causing problems. That's oppression. But because this devil has violently taken away things, a house that doesn't belong to him, Micah chapter 2, verse 2, if I'm not mistaken. This devil, he take everything because he's covetous. But he's taking the house, he's taking anything. He oppress a man in his heritage, his own house, everything. He taketh by force. So this devil, he taketh what he has oppressed. That's how he oppressed, by his wickedness. This devil is, again, has violently taken away something that did not belong to him. So when it comes down to it, he's not going to feel quietness in his belly. He's not going to be able to relax and sit back and think, I finally achieved my goal. He's not going to do it. That's why the Lord says surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He's not going to save of that which he desired. And this devil desires a world, a earth, an existence free of Yasharallah, free of Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And it ain't going to happen because those are the Lord's people. But he himself, the wicked himself, is gonna get up out of here. Since I said that on my last point, but let's continue. Let's go on continue. I'm just getting a few. Let's just go in Psalms. Let's see. Psalms 7 and 11. 7 and 11. It says, Yahweh judgeth the righteous, and Yahweh is angry with the wicked every day. So the Lord judges the righteous what? According to righteousness, according to their works. So if he's judging the righteous according to their works, guess what? And it says Yahweh is angry with the wicked every day. So the Lord is angry at those who live wickedly every day. So it's the Lord stay mad at those who are wicked. Verse 13, I'm going to jump down. It says, He hath also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutor. So the Lord has prepared instruments of judgment, instruments of Mawath against the wicked. This is the Lord has ordained this. I mean, the Lord has set this up. So this is going to be how this devil power structure falls in the earth through the Lord's arrows. And what are his arrows? His weapons of indignation. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's Jeremiah 51, verse 20 something. So like not 51, but verse 50. Yep. Jeremiah 50, chapter 50, verse 25. That's the instruments of Moath and or death that the Lord has ordained against the persecutors. And who is the persecutor? The bloody, wicked, sinful, deceitful man. Let's continue. He hath made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. So this devil has dug a pit for the intention of trapping others, but he himself have fallen into that ditch in which he made. Verse 16, his mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come upon his own pate. So every mischief, wicked, sinful doing that this devil has done, it's going to come upon his own head. He's going to fall by his own wickedness. His own wickedness is going to get him up out of here. Let's go to my last point. Hopefully you have right this up. Yep. This is Psalms 55 and 23. It says, But thou, O Yahweh, shall bring them down into the pit of destruction. So the Lord is going to bring these devils, or this devil, down into the pit of destruction, meaning judgment. Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in thee. And again, this was King David, his prayer about how about against the wicked. But it says here, the Lord is going to bring the wicked down to the pit of destruction. And it says, bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days. And let's just go on back to it. Let's go on back to it. Going on back to Job 20. But yeah, bloody and deceitful men is not going to live out half their days, meaning those who live wickedly, they will be cut short. And this devil is going to be cut short. He has had his time to rule. He has had his time to do his thing. And now it's over. And the water Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua for letting this wickedness go first, so that it can be done away with and out the way, so that righteousness can come and rule forever. Righteousness, it's gonna be right. Everything gonna be on point. But again, as it says here in the latter part of this verse, bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days. But for the righteous, just like King David, we're gonna trust in Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. But okay, I said that was my last point. So like you. Again, Job chapter 20, verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? So we've known this since the days of old. This has been established and set up since the days of old. Those who live wickedly, they're not here very long. They're not. the triumphing of the wicked is short. It's only for a small limit of the time, and the joy of the hypocrite is only but for a moment. And this devil is one of the biggest hypocrites on earth, but that's only for a moment. Though his excellency mount up as to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, though this devil reaches has reached, I should say, Salakia, a high position of authority, he's still gonna perish like his own dung, forever like his own dung. And those of us that see this devil now, it's gonna come a point to we're gonna be like, where is this devil? What happened to him? And it's just point blank period. The devil, he's gonna fly away like a dream, and he's not gonna be found. He's gonna be chased away like a vision in the night. So wickedness is gonna end soon. But you can bet your bottom dollar this devil, while he's still here, he oppresses everybody. That's why they over there in Angola, Africa, tearing up stuff. Because of this devil, because of the IMF. That belonged to Ottawan. That's who that belonged to. Jay can't make up the IMF, the Japanese, the Chinese, the Israel, not them. The Chinese, the Japanese, the Iranians, the Persians, the Cameroonians, all them. Yeah, they didn't make that up. This devil made that up. Because this devil oppresses everybody. And with that, Shalom.